Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another module where we're gonna pitch the deal. Exciting, right? So at this moment, going back in time a little bit, you have built the interest, you have investors knocking your door, you have been deliberately keeping them updated with these what I call authority checks, or you can say investment updates, frequently asked questions, traction scorecards, reviews, everything. By now, your lead, your investor lead, should be pretty warmed up, right? And I think also he would have some trust in you. So this is a great position to be at, to open up your round fully and to actually start discussing your meetings, right? So in this case, you're going to book around 20 to 30 meetings. 20 to 30 meetings, taking 20 to 30 minutes. That's an interesting part. I will keep track on that. So in this module, it's all about pitching the deal. We're going to discuss highlighting the risk and seeking for partnerships. The moment you feel like you're pitching an investor is actually the moment that you think like, okay, I need to take a step back. Because eventually your pitch already starts from the moment you start sharing your teaser, right? You're building consistent trust, and your pitch should actually nothing else be than at a certain moment when you feel the moment is right, you ask for the deal. And if you do everything right, it doesn't feel like pitching at all. So as always, let's start with a quote. A compelling pitch is more than a presentation. And this is important. It's a conversation that builds trust and sparks investor curiosity. So let's jump into it. I'm going in no specific order, provide some strategies how you can nail those pitch meetings that approximately should take between 20 and 30 minutes. And you can actually completely engineer them. And with engineer them, I mean you can organize them for 80% to be always the same. And the 20%, it's all about personalization, which we will talk about in a second. So I will go over each of these points, give some additional food for thought. So in this case, start pitching early, right? The pitch actually started already when you sent that first email. But the thing is, you didn't ask anything. You were delivering value, right? And if you were out with your teaser, it's such a soft ask. You almost give people the opportunity to step out anytime they want. And that's also what you should want, right? You don't want to stuff a deck into someone's throat and literally ask for the deal. That's not the kind of investor that you want. So that's why I'm thinking pitching, if we are here, everything is smooth. You have done exactly the right thing at the right time, and now you're here, and it just becomes a conversation. So establishing the credibility, your authority, your traction, and external validation before the main pitch meeting has already been done. Now here's the deal. You want to make it a conversation. Let me say that again. It's a conversation. In order for you to position your business as the price, you don't sell. You don't sell, you don't sell, you don't sell. I hope that is very clear. It's a conversation. You are looking for a great partner to take their money, and you will give them their equity. Now let's go back in time a little bit. If you sold your worst case scenario, and the worst case scenario is already great, then there's only a way up to sell your base case and your best case. So what you're doing here is, also you're not only looking for money, you're looking for a partnership, a guy that you can call up at 11 p.m. in the night because you have a problem or an urgent question, and he picks up your phone. That's what you want to find out. And you can say that. You can say in this moment when you open up the rounds, like, okay, we are here coming together to see if we are potential partners for each other. And what I expect a great partner to be is, I'm seeking for someone that can help me open doors. I'm seeking for someone that I can tap in their knowledge that helps me to make better decisions as a CEO. And dear investor, I'm not going to overwhelm you with questions day in, day out, but if you give me your money, I will make sure it grows, but I would love to have your commitment to it. Do you feel the nuance here that it's all about making a conversation between two partners, not selling? Avoid pushing too hard because that's automatically. And let me share a little personal experience here. I was talking with an investor, which is currently a business partner. I made a lot of money for this individual. He is most probably sits on $100 million. Knows all of the giants in the industry. And at a certain moment, we had a debriefing, right? And he literally told me, Sven, don't try to fucking sell me something. I'm not seeking for a sales guy. I'm seeking for a partnership. And that's now a few years ago. And that really drilled in. And since we changed that I'm not hungry for his money, but we're looking for the synergy, everything started working for me. So I want to give this to you so you don't need to make the same mistake. So if you push too hard, right? The only reason why you push too hard is because you didn't build the trust. That's why bite-sized content pieces consistently. And even if an investor is not responding to those bite-sized things, he doesn't need to respond or reply to give you a heads up that he reads it. If your messages are short, if they are not pushy, and they are valuable, they will scan and see it. At a certain moment, it goes even so far that if you do this 4 or 5 times without an ask for significant money, they will feel like, oh shit, I need to come back to Sven, or shit, I need to come back to John, So don't push too hard. Investors can literally sense desperation. The moment that happens, you're out. And therefore, we're automatically landing up in the next point, a compelling pitch. Again, it's not a pitch, but it's a consistent build-up, allows investors to come up with their own conclusions. So let me tell you this, right? Any investor who starts a conversation in a deal starts with 200, okay, let's not exaggerate, starts with 100 no's. It's our goal to remove all of those no's and then come to a yes automatically. Not like, okay, one yes. No. We need to understand, again, investor perspective. They know a lot. They know the deals. They know great deals. They will make their own conclusions, right? Think about, again, the different kind of ROIs that we discussed. They understand that it's a deal for them, yes or no. Highlight risks transparently. And maybe you think like, oh, Sven, you told me this already. I get it. No, but sometimes I need to repeat items for you to really understand it. So clearly outline potential risks and the measures taken to address them. Sheet, left. Dear investor, this is our worst case scenario. This is our base case scenario. This is our best case scenario. Worst case scenario. These are the risks that are potentially on the table. And you really need to think like, okay, what can go wrong? Are these assumptions realistic? And if not, why are they not realistic? And what is the problem or the obstacle why they are not realistic? Is there something wrong in your business? Do you make an assumption of someone that you're not 100% sure about? Then you want to highlight that, and then you come up with measures to make sure that they are realistic. You want to prioritize your risk by the level of probability, and impact. So let me give you a framework for that. Impact, confidence, execution. Okay, yeah. They call it the ICE framework. So you put all of your risk in one column, right? And you have then ICE. So the ICE is the impact. If this happens, how big is the impact? Will the business die? Will the revenue stop? Will all the team members leave? What is it? That is the I. You give the I give a number from 0 to 10. How big is the impact? If the impact is 2, 3, okay, it's not that things are getting ridiculously broken. If it's 10, you have a problem. So again, you have the risk. You put the ICE framework. The ICE framework means impact, confidence, and execution. So then, if you know the risk, how confident are you that you can deal with this risk? 0 to 10. And then, how confident are you that you can execute on a solution for this risk? Now, if you count ICE, the first number, second number, third number together, you get a score, right? So therefore, each risk will have a score. And therefore, you can prioritize them and work with your team to mitigate it. Present the worst case scenario first. If the investor is comfortable with that, move to the base and best case scenarios. Then you want to focus on trust building. Align your content with verified information from the data room. Before we discussed that. You want to build your data room first and then your pitch document. This is the reason why. There are so many founders, business owners that shout from the roof, we're going to do 20% month-to-month growth, blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff. And then later on, the investors are going to do their due diligence, which happens after the pitch. Then suddenly it shows that you have completely different numbers. So align your pitch content with verified information from the data room. If you do that, you shortcut at least 3 to 4 weeks. Consistent, honest communication builds trust. Don't leave things behind. Tell the investor what it is, because you're paving the future how it is to work with you. If you're already in the pitch stage, a bullshit lady or bullshit guy that keeps information away, forget about it. You just signed your death penalty there. It's not going to invest, even if all of the stars are aligned. I see that we're going a little bit over time with this module, but these are very important points. Let's go to the next one. I just told you that you can engineer 80% of your pitch, through your investment memo, which they already read. This is a conversation. You can make it standard. But I can tell you, if you take 20% of that, and you tailor your pitch to that investor, wow, that means really that you have been thinking about working with them together, and you see a synergy and a partnership. So you want to customize pitches based on the type of investor, where they're coming from, their sector, the ticket size. You want to include a personal slide, and it doesn't need to be ridiculously. It can be a slide that is always standard, but with some bullet points, how you see your partnership together. I mean, how freaking cool is that, right? And that shows that your business then aligns with their interest. Additionally, show synergies, not just transactions. Again, it all comes down to the same point, right? But you want to highlight how the investor's expertise, network, or resources can contribute to scaling the business. Now, if you wonder, like Sven, how the hell do I know what this investor, who he knows? I mean, go to their LinkedIn, go to all of their contacts, filter that in Sales Navigator, and you see, hey, I see that you know this guy. I see that you know that guy. Hey, I read online that you do this. Hey, I saw in your social profile that you do that. Use that, right? Then you want to create personalized touch points. Show investors you understand their focus and goals with tailored messages and pitch content, which just sums up what we're doing here. Another line of key strategies is here, use specific pitch framework. What is a framework? The framework is what we have discussed here. We go from one-page teaser to deal summary to investment memo to the frequently asked questions to the reviews to the investor updates. Everything is aligned, right? So it's a deal stack together. You want to keep your pitches short, clear, and direct, right? Don't use information that is blurry, and practice your pitch. Literally, create 20 minutes of your pitch, put it into ChatGPT, ask how to improve it. Give it prompts like, how can I make this simpler, easier? You will have an opportunity to improve yourself. Prepare all of your emails, and prepare all of your outreach documents, prepare all of your in-person script, especially if you're going to work with an assistant that supports you with your raise. You want to standardize 80% and personalize 20%. This is an important one, logical, but listen more than you talk. Same like Jeff Bezos, if he runs a meeting, he's the one that talks last. Why? Because he can listen to all of the opinions. And a great sales tactic is if you let someone else do the talking, the only thing what you need to do is listen and answer clearly and directly. So make room for dialogue and ask the investor input. Again, position yourself as the prize means that you are also the one that's asking questions. Provide clear, well-reasoned answers that resonate with investor queries. Now, in this case also, if you don't know an answer, then you will come back to it. You're not going to talk bullshit. Let investors also share their insight, as they appreciate being heard and engaged. And I can tell you this, all people like to talk about themselves, so praise them, ask for their advice, ask for their insight. Cool. Additionally, engage with confidence. Approach the pitch as a value-driven conversation. You want to build rapport and showcase your knowledge and passion, right? The passion comes from the way you speak, the way you present, the way your background is. Always, by the way, put your camera on. I'm not going here to tell you how to pitch, but I think those things are very, very logical. You want to share after the pitch, instantly. Share already how the deal will look like. Create the deal. Share your safe note or your investment structure immediately. Hey John, I had an amazing conversation. I feel that we will be a great fit together. I just want to share, this is how we plan to structure this deal. So please give your feedback. If he gives feedback, it's already, going into money-making mode. Then you want to follow up thoughtfully, right? After the meeting, you could share, of course, if you're running an online meeting, hey, by the way, this is our meeting summary. Everybody is using the AI one. Perfectly fine. You want to create reasons for yourself to get that follow-up. Reinforce positive takeaways from your pitch. Share your follow-up very clearly that what you loved about it. Compliment. It was a great conversation. I specifically liked your point about ABC. Though I think a little bit different about this, let's have another conversation. It's a conversation, guys. The reason why everybody's not raising money is because they're fucking begging for money, right? Sorry for my words. If you like working with me, this is how I am, but this is how it works. Then automatically, and that's why I didn't put anything here, can I count you in? You almost don't need to ask for the pitch. Can I count you in as an investor, especially if you already shared the closing documents? Will just work. Will just work. Let's close this with a quote as usual. So, pitch with purpose, lead with value, listen intentionally, and let investors see themselves as part of your growth story. I hope this was valuable for you. I see you in the next module. Get oversubscribed. And then we're already at the last point, select the best deals. See you soon.